Hey HCDA and welcome back to Patron! It's been a while, but I didn't forget about this game, and honestly I'm having a lot of fun with this, and just look at all our little workers doing their job. Yeah, if you remember last time we actually expanded our town quite a bit, and we make some farms, we have some mining going on, and all in all we're doing really good, and apparently the people seem to agree with us because they're having a lot of babies. And, well, more babies means more people, means we will need to expand our food production and so on. So it's kind of like grow until you die type of situation, I suppose. But right now we're doing really good. We have quite a bit of food, we have a lot of lumber, we have a lot of firewood, which we'll need to actually warm our houses. It's middle of the winter, as you can see, so that's not a trivial thing to do. Honestly, there's a couple of things that we could still upgrade. The upgrades are quite expensive, but they're kind of worth it, honestly. For example, reducing upkeep here means we need less lumber in order to actually make our firewood. And if we upgrade this, then we'll actually get more firewood for the same upkeep. So things like that can really leverage your production. And remember, we can increase the worker slots in most of the buildings quite a lot, especially in things like the foresters and things like that. We haven't actually done that really at all so far. We don't really have the people for it at the moment. The game is claiming that we have a low amount of free workers. It's actually not that bad. We have 5 people as carriers and 8 people as workers. I'm not really building anything, so I'm not really sure why you're complaining, game, but yeah. There's also quite a few other things that we can still upgrade. Something like the toolsmith, for example, which is a huge drain in resources. So all in all, there's a lot of things worth upgrading, but apparently there's also unrest on the mainland. We can either send the king a lot of tobacco, clay, and venison, which to be honest is not that much, or we can kind of keep quiet about it. We'll get less loyalty, at least for the peasants and laborers, which is pretty much all we have at the moment, but in return we get 7 immigrants, and I guess we might as well, because, well, more people, more joy, more expansion. Specifically, what are we going to do about this? Well, we definitely want to expand our technology a little bit. There's a couple of things that we actually skipped, and apparently I just started up the food production policy. But anyway, that's fine. We can also... can we queue up things? No, we can't. No, can't we? No, we can't. Okay, well then we just have to wait for food production to finish. After that, we are going to look into stone roads, because honestly, that will actually heavily help us expand. And right now, the first thing we need to do is buy some more houses, because we got those new people living in our town. And let's pause the game for a moment. That means we will actually have to find them somewhere to live. Now, I'm actually considering just plopping down a few houses over here, because, quite frankly, we have people having to walk quite a large distance, and this might work. Now, how many families do we actually have? 31. We have 27 houses. Now they will probably combine into more families, but like before, I don't really see that as an issue. I'm actually gonna leave some room in here. Which direction do we actually want to expand? So we have kind of a mining and I was about to say like hunting slash farming slash... There's a lot of things actually going on that actually need those trees over here. So let's not take it too far. We can still fit a house or two in here. So let's make sure we do that. I was about to say we can fit it in, right? Yeah, we can. So we have a little room over here. So that's 2 more houses, 4 more houses in total. So that should be fine. And then those people will actually have somewhere to live. So I think we're pretty much good to go. We survived another winter. Let's see if there's anything else we can upgrade at this point. Well, we could, but that's not really useful. We could actually increase the cranes a little bit. There we go. And now we're pretty much out of money, so we'll just have to wait around until we get some more. So we now have access to stone roads, but apparently there's no easy way to actually upgrade the roads. So now we get to go through everything and upgrade all of those roads. And of course we actually also need to make sure we take care of our little markers over there, those signposts, because you can't go through it. So that's going to be some work. Okay, that's interesting. Another thing that we actually unlocked is probably more interesting to note. Can I click this, please? We can have this gathering hall where we can set decrease, and actually already researched a couple, but they're fairly expensive for a 10% bonus. This one is actually really interesting. So essential budgeting says essential upkeep minus 10%, and that basically means that we have to pay less for a lot of stuff. Now, honestly, from this description over here, you can't really tell what it does. But I'm gonna set it anyway. And when I do that, if we go back to the, well, you don't need to do that in order to see this, but when we go back to the technology overview, essential budgeting, so this is the decree I just used, it actually reduces the upkeep of fishermen huts, hunting lodges, herbalist mines, quarries, clothes shops, toolsmiths, sawmills. Basically everything we have. Now, if we then go, for example, to the sawmill, before it was an upkeep of 150, so that's now 135. Not the biggest deal in the world, but anyway, we get the same production for a lower upkeep. But more specifically, it's very interesting for pretty much everything over here. So for example, these iron mines and coal mines now also cost less coin. So we're paying about 200 coin per year in order to save pretty much the same amount if you add all of this up. Remember, the toolsmith uses coin, the quarry does, the mines do. What else do we have? The clay pit, I don't think it actually uses... it's actually affected by this, but I might be wrong there. But we also have, for example, the clothes shop, which was this one over here. It's not necessarily maybe an actual cost saving, but it's pretty close. And remember, it's not just the actual coin that you're saving the lumber and everything else that goes into these things. So for example, with the toolsmith, we're now also saving some of the additional coal and iron. So all in all, pretty much it's definitely worth it. I'm a little bit hesitant to enable these things, so the essential goods, food, etc. It's a 10% bonus as well, but we won't actually get any coin back from this. So I think at this point, given how much coin we're currently getting, this is not what we want to do, but it's definitely something of interest to keep an eye out for. Well, the king is apparently very happy with us, because he's sending us beer, wine and jewelry, so that's pretty nice stuff to get. And I think I know why he's so happy with us, because I just completed our stone roads. Looks a lot better, if I say so myself. In the meanwhile, I also had to build a few houses. I actually not entirely done. We have some not stone roads over here, I believe. There we go. Problem solved. Alright, so, yeah, we're doing pretty well. I am a little worried, actually, about our food situation. We have been dropping slowly in food. We can set up some more crops and stuff like that, but I actually want to build a mushroom farm. Now, the reason I want to build that is because I don't think we have one so far. The only real question is, where are we going to build that? I'm not entirely sure if this actually needs fertility. I don't think it does. It doesn't seem to require any as far as I can tell, so that means we can pretty much place it anywhere. Now, just checking how we are with fertility and ore. We might want to build something with ore over here. It's a pretty large building though, so can we fit it in here? No, we can't. We can, however, fit it in here. And considering we're not really doing much else with this space over here, I think we might as well. Do we want to move it a little further back? No, not necessarily, I think. Let's just put it there. There we go. Let's see what happens and how much food we get out of that. Anything else? Well, we grew our population a little bit, so we have a few more workers to work with. Yeah, I said that, didn't I? The ranch is really annoying, to be honest, with the fact that we keep having to manually buy chickens, in this case. We can't change that yet. What we could do, actually, is research sheeps. I'm not entirely sure if those are much better, but hey, we might as well find out. Now, actually, researching the quarry pool after this will be interesting as well, because it actually increases the production of quarries if they're near an iron or a coal mine, which our quarry is. In fact, it's right next to an iron mine, so that should give us a nice little 10% bonus. I have 3 people in here now, by the way. Not necessarily because we need a lot of stone, at least we did, but we did need a little bit more stone to make all of those roads. So I can probably take another person out here, and then let's see where does that person actually go. We could consider increasing our hunter lodge. We can't actually increase our gatherer; it's already maxed out. How's our fisherman's hut doing? We can actually expand our fishing hut. So let's go for that. Let's just add one more person to that. That will give us some extra food production. And remember, we have the bonus during the winter for food production. We do actually need to build another house, or maybe 2. I'm actually leaving a little bit of room over here intentionally, because as you saw before, there's a couple of buildings that actually need our benefit from having houses close, so let's make sure we do that. And a mushroom farm. Apparently there's no upgrades to that whatsoever, so that's interesting. Okay, this is really straightforward. It's actually relatively expensive. I'm not sure I'm too happy about that, honestly. But I guess this is a very straightforward way of making some food. I'll just leave it intact for now, but honestly, this is not a very efficient way to make food. Anyway. Okay, so I completed a couple of research items. I also picked up a few things like the small pond and a fountain, things like that. Nothing really of interest. I'm not sure why we would want to build farms, not farms, fountains, if we can keep our people happy without them. They just get in the way. They're not productive. Speaking of productive, our quarry is now more productive because we picked up the quarry pool research, and we also picked up pottery apprentice, and that increases the pottery production from a workshop if it's actually near another pottery workshop. So that things that should make it a pretty nice queue to now start building, you know, a pottery workshop or 2. Now let's see. Those are under production buildings. Oh, it was already in the menu. Let me see, where is it? This distillery, apiary. We actually don't have that just yet. So, interesting. We could probably build one of those as well, but for now we're gonna go for a workshop. A pottery workshop to be exact. Now that won't actually fit in here. It won't actually fit in there either. That's a shame. I was hoping to kind of sneak it in there. That means that we'll just go here. Let me just double check if there's nothing interesting here. The more fertile ground starts over there, so I think we can simply use this little area over here. Does it make sense to put it in the middle of our living quarters? I don't know, but it'll have to do. And we're going to make 2 of them. Now, what we're also going to do, I am getting worried about our food production, so we're gonna have to give that a little boost. Now, the apiary, we might as well build one of those. It needs to go in a well-forested area, so that's either here, or honestly, we could also consider having it over here. That way we can kind of expand it to this zone as well, and kind of start a second part of our town over here. So let's make an apiary over here, and it's a little boring, but I'm actually going to put a gatherer's shelter here as well, because why not? And a hunting lodge while we're at it. We actually have some dens over here, and someone pointed out in the comments a while back that it increases the efficiency of the hunting lodge, and you can actually tell that if you hover over it. Well-forested areas and wild animal lairs boost efficiency, so might as well take advantage of that. And did I actually already build a gatherer's hut? Yep, I did. What we also need, I think, is another herbalist. There we go. The reason being is that we're doing fine. Oh, this building is a lot bigger than I remembered it to be. Anyway, 103%, 111%. Yeah, let's just put it over here, maybe. Yeah. Should be fine. Hello? Why can't I place it over here? Oh, that's probably because I was placing it on top of another building. Anyway, so That's a lot of buildings coming up. Now we do need to be a little bit careful about how we assign people to that. But while we're at it, let's check how our resource capacity is doing. We're at 10,000 of 14,000 and we do want to produce more and more stuff. So what I actually want to do is, let's see, production buildings. Where is the warehouse actually? Warehouse? Where are you? Here. It has 10,000 capacity, so that's a lot bigger. You don't necessarily need to build that close to anything, really, because you can use the depots for that. Remember, they are all interconnected. But considering I'm at it anyway, I'm just gonna build one of those over. Ah, that's a shame. It could almost fit in here. It would have been so nice. Oh well, nothing we can do about that. What we can actually do is set it up like this. And then have a little stone road. Yes, I'm not gonna bother again with non-stone roads. And kind of go like this, this, and this. And oh, just to make sure, let's make actually a little road around here. Now, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure if it really makes sense to have a huge amount of double roads like I've been doing so far. Doesn't really seem to serve a specific purpose. Let's assign 2 people to the pottery workshops. Reducing the upkeep is probably worth it from the get-go. And let's make sure we do that on both. Once again, you spend a little money once in order to save money in the long term. So I think that's a pretty easy thing to do. Raging fire? Ah, no. Okay. Where's the fire? There's the fire. I didn't actually build any wells so far. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, better late than never, I suppose. Let's make a well over there. And while we're at it, let's maybe strategically position a well in the middle of here as well. See what I did there. Doesn't actually quite fit in here, does it? Well, maybe something like this will work. And then this. And I'm not entirely sure we can have a fire in the middle of nowhere, but yeah, let's go with this. Let's make sure we prioritize this one. And let's hope not too many of our buildings actually burn down. The well is completed. Go! Go, take it out! Take it out! Oh, no, 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 no. Well, at least they will be keeping warm during the winter. I mean... Okay, that's it. Phew. I was actually expecting to lose at least a few houses there. Anything specific? Well, health is not doing that well. I'm not entirely sure why. We have lots of herbs. We don't have any medicine just yet. But anyway, okay. So, crisis averted. We now are producing some pottery, so that's really nice. We could actually sell some pottery, probably. How are we doing on this? We are apparently trying to sell stone while we don't have any, so let's change this to pottery. And you can sell any excess above, say, 100. And leather is still being sold, clay is being sold, so that's all good. It's fine. We just built a lot of food production buildings over here as well. Let's make sure we improve upon those. Just to make sure that we're getting plenty of food. Let's make sure we improve these as well. And let's make sure we assign enough people to this. Now, these foresters... Oh, I keep clicking the depot. Apologies for that. Let's assign some people here as well. Now we also want to upgrade this. 30% production is quite a lot, honestly. And this is going to produce us some honey and some wax, so that's really good. And yeah, now we just kind of need to wait around and make sure we get some more money incoming so we can take up the next research. Okay, we apparently have pests on our cattle, and we need to clear or demolish the infested ranch before the pests spread to nearby ranches. Well, actually, that's not necessarily too bad of a thing. It's a shame of 20 chickens that I had here, but I actually wanted to shift to sheep anyway, so that should mean, hopefully, that we can just exterminate. Oh, we can actually exterminate the pests. And does that kill the chickens or what? Okay, so you just throw money at the problem and you solve the problem. Got it. Well, you can say I don't learn, so we're actually going to research the stone well now, which is apparently an improved version of the standard well. So in case we ever get another fire, we should be covered. Now, there's actually a couple of other interesting research options here as well. For example, we have the increased ranch production if near a field, so we have that going for us. We actually do have that situation going on. We can actually have a fishery maybe later on. We actually have the deep mine as well, so this actually improves the output from all of our mines, because we have coal mines near iron mines, similar to how we got a bonus from the quarry being near a coal mine. So basically alternating your mine layout is a very nice thing to do. Now, the interesting thing is we also have this option here for basic budgeting, so that's the same as the other resource that we just enabled for the essential budgeting. That actually reduces the upkeep, but in this case the upkeep of apiaries, carpenter huts, pottery workshops and clay pits, which we have all of them. I don't think it's necessarily worth the cost right now, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on once we keep expanding our base, village, whatever you want to call it. Actually interesting to see if we should go for the ranch here. Not entirely sure, honestly. There's a couple of other things. There's a medium pond. That's not necessarily all that interesting. This could be interesting though. We can actually increase or upgrade the carpenter's hut. So let's go for that, I suppose. We don't really need a fishery. We have so many options to increase our food output at the moment. So yeah, not really needed for now. But I'm actually gonna go for the big ranch first. And while we're at it, let's actually make one of those ranches. So we have sheep here now. And time to retire. What? I'm not retiring. It's actually a pirate of the high seas wants to retire in our city, and he's willing to pay for the privilege, as he calls it. So we could actually have a pretty big hit to our safety, but get a huge amount of coins in return. As well as 5 new citizens, or we can say it's never gonna happen. We can capture them and ship them off. That will actually increase loyalty. Loyalty is not really a big issue for us at the moment. Happiness, however, is something we don't really want to touch. We don't actually have merchants or gentry yet, so let's just get the coin, the people, and I think we can handle the safety hit, honestly. Let's make sure we buy some sheep. There we go. And then we're gonna go and set up another ranch. It does need to be a certain minimal size. Let's not overdo it. These things are relatively expensive. And we need to build some more houses, actually. Having our people sit in the cold in the middle of them. Doesn't this actually fit? Oh, actually we have the same problems over there. Actually, let's leave some room for people over there. And let's just do the same over here, actually. Now, the reason I'm doing this is that this will actually allow us to put some buildings in between. How many houses do we need? 2 more, actually. That's 1, that's 2. Let's make sure we insulate them because, yeah, we need our people to stay warm, of course. And same over here. Right now we're doing okay on firewood. It is in the middle of the winter, so we are currently using a lot more than we are producing. We might want to expand our shop over here a little bit. And that will give us a huge amount of extra production, so I think that's definitely worth it. And that makes sense. What else? What else was I doing? I was actually working on the farm. Almost forgot there. Let's make sure we assign something to this, and let's make some piggies. And let's make sure we stock up the ranch with actual animals. And now we have fields and ranches close together, so they should be buffing each other. And then what else? Let's research the carpenter's hut, so we can actually upgrade the carpenter's hut and make some more stuff. Now, where is our carpenter's hut? That's over here. So I'm actually interested to see if there's anything we need to do with the carpenter's hut as soon as we research that. Meanwhile, it's actually a good thing to actually manually sell off some stuff every now and then. You can of course set up the trade deals to do exactly that as well, but this is a nice way to kind of supplement your income. So this should get us some 500 gold. Speaking of which, I'm actually not entirely sure if I set this up correctly now. What are we selling? We are selling clay, that's fine. We are selling leather, that's fine. Pottery, as well as tobacco. We should probably switch this to something else. Let's say wax. I don't think we are using this for anything at the moment. So that means that anything above 100 and let's make it around 100 should be able to be sold automatically, and that will save us a little bit of micromanaging that. So sheep, piggies, that's all fine. Carpenter's hut, let's see. You're making furniture, sure. Can we upgrade this, or is this actually a new building? Let me check. I have no idea. Carpenter's hut? Yes. It'd be weird if it actually says like Carpenter's hut rank 2. And I'm pretty sure that's not in here. There's a lot of interesting buildings we haven't built yet. So how do I go about upgrading this? Okay. That's interesting. Allows the production of decoration? Yes. Are you actually doing that? Oh wait, I can switch this. Okay, so I can switch this between furniture and decoration, but that does mean that I need a second carpenter's hut. Because we can't do both at the same time. So, carpenter's hut. Let's see. Carpenter's hut, there we go. Let's place that like that over there. We could consider producing a little less of this in order to kind of shift the workers in between, but we have so many people now. How are we doing in terms of jobs? So we actually, let's assign 3 more people to that. Let's assign someone to the wharf, and then we have 18 workers left. So we probably need to focus on our food production a little bit more, but let's make sure we optimize the hell out of this first, and then we're going to switch this to decoration. Let's see, so the upkeep thing actually changes quite a lot. It actually increases quite a bit as well. But that's okay, we can probably handle that. Okay, so now we have some decorations going, we have a couple of other things going. Okay, so this is actually worth researching. This increases the production if adjacent to another carpenter's hut. I didn't actually see this when I built it, but yeah, this should be adjacent to each other, right? I mean, it's literally next to each other. There did I put a road in between? I'm actually not sure if it's getting the bonus now. It's probably not. So just to be safe, let's clear this actually while we're at it. Hello? Oh, wrong thing. Hello? There we go. How hard can it be to actually delete a building? It helps if you click on the right things. Okay, so demolish, clear buildings, yes. Demolish buildings, yes. There we go. Okay, that worked slightly different than I was expecting it to, but okay. So let's try it again. Let's build a carpenter's hut this time adjacent to the other one. Now double check. 660. Not entirely sure if it actually applies the buff immediately, but we can find out in a moment. Let's make sure we wait for it to build. We are actually getting a huge amount of money now, so I'm not entirely sure what to do with all that money. We upgraded everything that I can think of other than this one. I don't necessarily want to research this. This actually increases the upkeep by 50%. And once we get bricks, we can actually upgrade this though, so that's gonna be really nice. Is there any upgrades that we can do to the warehouse? No, there's not. We don't necessarily want to expand this either. We do want to optimize this. And then switch it to decorations. And let's make sure we have 2 of those. And yeah, so now it actually applied the 10% bonus, so that's really nice. I'm not really sure if it actually applies it to this as well. I didn't check it without bonus, of course. But yeah, it sounds pretty good. We can't apparently increase the number of people in here. Oh, sorry, we of course need to expand that first, but I think with 300 we should be fine for the moment. And yeah, I think that's a pretty good place to end this particular video. We again increased the size of our base quite a bit. None of this was here at the end of the episode, or at the start of this episode. We now have decorations in production. We have sheep, we have pigs. All in all, we're doing pretty well. We do need to make sure that we keep up our food production with our steadily growing population. Right now we have actually 25 young people, which will be all growing up really quickly. It's the last step before adulthood, obviously. But that basically means that we are going to increase our food demand by, well, 1/3, over 25%, in just probably 1 or 2 years from now. And that's going to be a huge shock to the system, so definitely something we need to keep an eye on. But that will be for the next episode. If you're still here, you're awesome. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment. The comments really help the algorithm find the series. And I will catch you in the next one.